Hello, everybody, and this is Alicia with Alicia's Creative Paradise, and I want to. Um, I've had a lot of requests for how I print on fabric, and so today I'm going to show you how I do that and my tips and tricks on how to do that. Let me get situated here. These digitals here, I am totally in love with these digitals. These are from Pink Monarch Prints, and I'll link that just in the description below. But let me just show them to you because I'm wanting to, how pretty would it be to have this on fabric? As you can see, let me see, turn on another light here. Let me turn on another light. How pretty would it be to have one of these on fabric? So I love this right here. It's so pretty. It's all pretty. And I'm trying to pick which one I want and thinking about if it was a cover for a journal. This is like one of my favorites because I love the red, the pops of red and the warm colors. And then there's this one. It's more of a neutral color. So this could kind of be like the inside of the cover. Here's another. It's got greenish hues in it. It could be inside of a cover. There's this one. So I'm thinking what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and print this one on fabric. All right. So what I've done is I already have two pieces of fabric that I have ironed. This one's already pre-cut, and I cut it to 8.5 by 11. And as you can see, this fabric is kind of see-through. It's kind of see-through. Hang on a second. And you can kind of see my hands through it. I don't know if it'll come across on the camera. We'll do this so you can kind of see the glue stick under there. And I chose, it's kind of strong but yet thin. That way when I use my cardstock, I get this from Walmart. It's the Pen and Gear premium cardstock. It's 110 pound and it's a heavyweight for posters, cards, and craft projects. So what I do is I take a sheet of this and get that ready. And I'll show you the other fabric that I do like to use. This one's a softer fabric versus this one's more stiff. This one has a feeling like it's got starch in it, but I'm not sure. I think I got this off of the Walmart rack for, they have the $2 and $4 rolls of fabric, and it's kind of rough feeling a little bit, and versus this one is really soft, but yet this one is also thin as well, and it works good. I've used it, so you can see through that one as well. So just wanted to show you the fabric. I use a cream color. You can also use white if you want more vivid colors for your fabric, but the cream color goes along with the vintage feel, so I'm okay with how it turns out. I use my my paper trimmer to cut my fabric as well. After I've ironed it, this gets a lot of use. Sorry, it looks kind of dirty, but so what I'll do is I'll use my paper trimmer to cut my fabric and use the straightest, the straight edge off the roll. That way you can start with this and get everything squared. It doesn't have to be perfect, of course, but It needs to be where it fits the cardstock. And then I will have to trim off these pieces. Let me get my scissors. I may have to do that again. It's probably not best to pull. It's probably not best to pull the strings out. Try not to. We don't want any of that getting into the printer. I try to make sure all of the little pieces are off before I put it into my printer. Okay, so I've cut that edge to, I've cut it the length of 11 inches, and now I want to cut this to 8.5. And I'll hold my hand on the fabric so it don't bunch up when I'm cutting it. Okay, I hope I'm in frame here. Okay, let me move up a little bit. There we go. Okay. Okay, let's see if this is square. So it's 8.5 wide by 11 inches long. Okay, so now I've got another piece. Let me see what this size. I pre-cut this. No, I didn't. Okay, here we go. So 11. This, here we go. Okay, I don't want to pull my string, so I'm going to cut those off. It's 11. And this side is not very straight, so I want to go ahead and straighten that up too. It's kind of off. Just barely making it there. Okay, and okay. And I'm not going to worry about that. All right, let me cut it to 8.5. Okay, so cut my strings off. And now I'm going to go ahead and move this out of the way. So now I want to get my cardstock. I just love this Tim Holtz Tonic Studios glass mat because I can get it dirty and clean it right back off. Alright, so let me show you the glues. I don't recommend, this glue right here is amazing. I am so glad that I got this glue. It's the Scotch Create glue stick. I paid $3 something for it on Amazon. It's huge and it is so strong. It's too strong for this because the fabric doesn't want to come off the paper, and the paper will stick to the back of the fabric. So I don't want to use this one. I want to use this one. And this is purple school glue, and the purple disappears. I've actually used almost all of this one, but I do have this one from the grocery store, and it's purple. So if I run out of this one, so what I want to do is I want to go ahead Make sure my surface is clean. There's no crumbs or lint pieces. So when it goes to the printer, it'll do well. And I'm just going to go around the edges with this glue stick. And it dries pretty fast, so I gotta hurry. And I just go across, try to cover the whole surface so there's no bubbles. And then I'll take my fabric and I put it on here. Since I can see through the fabric, I can kind of see where I'm laying it. Try to line it up as best as possible. Okay, and the next thing that I do is go ahead and peel up the corners and re-glue all around the edges. The edges are most important when you're doing this, because if it goes through the printer and it gets jammed, you don't want the printer to be able to pull the edge up and then have a paper jam. So it's really important that all of the edges especially are glued down on this. So I always go back over it again on all these corners. You want to make sure your paper is straight as well. There's no curls in the corners or anything, because you're using the fabric. We want to make sure that there's no paper jams at all. Alright. Especially the end that I want to put in, I choose specifically the end that I'm going to put in the printer first, because I want to make sure that is especially down, because, you know, to avoid paper jams. This, I can see the paper some, so I don't want to put that one in. I want to put in this one. So I'm going to lift it up again through here and just add a little more glue there. Make sure it's completely flat. And I like to use my this to get everything off. And now I go around it with the scissors and cut off all the stragglies, because you will get stragglies and they have to be cut off. Okay. You can print this borderless. My printer doesn't always print borderless for me, so I always just expect that I'm going to have the white edge, which kind of, in a way for me, it kind of gives me a cushion for sewing, and in case there's a little bit of variance in the printing. So because right here you can see the white paper, because I didn't get it perfectly straight, but I'm not worried about that. So overall, I'm satisfied with the way this is holding on. When I bend it, you can see that there is some bubbles, but when the printer brings it through, it will straighten it out. So it's going to be okay. All right, so right now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to flip it over, because my printer takes in like this, and it prints on that side. So I'm going to put it face down in my printer carefully. And I always make sure I don't have too much paper loaded in my printer to avoid any paper jams. I just have like 20 or 30 sheets in there. So let me go ahead and print this real quick. Okay. And make sure all your settings are right. This one needs to be on portrait. And here we go. I sent it to the printer. And let's see, what else can I tell you? What I was going to tell you. I'm working on this journal right here. I'm 3/4 of the way done. I just got to decorate the inside, and this is the one that we're going to be working on next. I'm going to do a process video on how I did this, and this is the inside, and I've chosen some of these papers. Actually, there's this one right here, and this one's got there's another artist called Digital Fit, and their papers are amazing. They had the planner papers, so I printed the planner papers on the back. Like, this is daily planner, to-do list, tomorrow, goals, morning, afternoon, evening, and there's our print. So anyway, I'm working on this one, and it's turning out really pretty. So I'm going to have to decorate that one. This one will be ready really soon. And we'll reference this cover for what we're going to do. Okay, here it is. My printer, if I didn't put shrink to fit or that setting that's fit to page, which I should have clicked, I'm okay with this. I'm fine with it. But it should have been centered, like this one. This one came out centered. I don't know why this one did it like this, but next time I do the fabric one, I'm going to go ahead and hit that button of shrink to fit. So you can see the difference here. This is only slightly muted, and it's because it's fabric. So you can see it's very, very close and very, very pretty. So now what I do is when I want to use it, I will just go ahead and pull it off my cardstock. And there you have it. You have your fabric. And this is going to make it very pretty in a journal. There it is. But I'm going to be doing a video, another video I'm going to add in how I did the doors. I was requested to show that on that last journal, how I sewed the doors. And it should have a little, oh, don't get me searching through my desk here. Okay, I'll show you on the next video. Another person asked how I made the envelopes, and we're also going to go back to doing a new version later on. This is probably the end of the month. A new version of the botanical. So I will choose new papers and a new style, colors and flowers, and we're going to go back to doing a repeat of the botanical because that one was a favorite. I love it too. That we may get real creative with that. And someone asked how I sewed on those blue spice tags, so I'll be showing that. But this can be reused, but I don't reuse the cardstock because it's covered in lint and it's covered in stick glue. Now, if you were to clean it like this, you might be able to reuse this cardstock and get away with it. You could also use the other side as long as this glue is completely dried and it won't stick up your printer. But you could also use it for covering it with coffee dyed paper and making, you know, pockets and tags and things like that. So you don't want to waste it. And but you know how printers are. If this glue gets on your printer wheels, it could mess your printer up. So I'm not going to recommend reusing this in a printer. I recommend utilizing it for covering it up with different, you know, like collaging on top of it and stuff like that. So, okay, I hope you like this. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for all of your support, watching me, subscribing and liking and sharing, and I will be back soon with another video, and have a wonderful day. Thank you. Bye-bye.